Hey, good evening, everybody. I'm Brother Washington Muhammad, he, him. This is the Community Solidarity Response Network. This is our weekly podcast or our video minutes, and this is the way that we talk about some of our initiatives, some of the things and activities that we're doing right now, some of the things that we've done this past week, and some things that we've got coming up soon. And I use the pronouns he, him, and today I have on a brown cap, fresh haircut. All right, I've got my blue and gray glasses from Twix in Between. The lady with the optical bus, that's Kristen Moncrief. So if you see that bus driving around Toledo, stop her, get a business card, make an appointment, and get you some new glasses. And she has the prescription sunglasses too. And today I have on my Dragon Ball Z shirt. And the significance of this shirt is it's the same shirt that our brother Joshua Brown wore. He testified against Amber Geiger. She was the police officer that murdered Botham Jean in his own house. And we see that police are still killing us and nothing is stopping. And this is the shirt that brother wore testifying against the police officer. Look, Jody, I think that's it. And as always, I'm dedicated to respecting, protecting, and defending all Black bodies, no matter the cost, no matter the gains or loss. This is CSRN, Community Solidarity Response Network. 7 years ago, Jabril Bey I got a chance to talk to him earlier this week.
Good.
So next time, Jabril, if we make an appointment, well, I already know, making an appointment with Jabril is like planning something and watching God laugh. But Jabril Bey, Mike Leonardi, what's up, Mike? If you're watching this from Italy, came up with the idea that we can advocate for justice, equality, and freedom, and you don't necessarily have to be a pastor or a politician. Just regular folks like me, and especially Jody, that can get it in. And we've got an awesome team of brothers and sisters and comrades and allies that have joined this fight for all Black Lives Matter and justice or else. Jody, I think that says it about me for right now. What do you have on? And man, what's going on with you?
What's up, everybody? Jody J. Summers, child of the system, better known as Spoken Truth. I am a brown cinnamon tone skin of a man that is, covered in tattoos. Oh yeah, the whole line. Because I don't know. I think us introducing ourselves is one of the really good aspects that you don't get in other, I guess, podcasts or live shows because you don't know. Somebody just may be listening to you. I listen to quite a few things when I have a chance versus watching. I still hate this stare into a black screen and Zoom culture and stuff, but I'm adapting. So we're going to restart that. I am a brown-skinned, big, bare tone of a man that is covered in tattoos and crystals and jewels and clothing from my city. This is Filthy Feathers clothing company. I do not have anybody on my shirt today, which is very significant because a lot of people try and get me to wear branding, and I have to remind them that if you have a Dragon Ball Z shirt, you are not going to see it over the life that I've lived. These don't come off. I've stopped adding to them. I kind of try, but there's no way to really appreciate your designs. I will donate to your company or a shirt brand, but you probably won't see me wearing it because I don't advertise. I am just life. And my pronouns are him, he, and we. We is all the other stuff that I do that most people don't see on my page because it's a lot to run. But anyway, this is our mission statement. So how we kind of, and I want to do a little behind the scenes stuff because we're getting into the aspect of what people do with boards and politics. We talk about housing and farming, but this is really an aspect as we've been here for 7 years, how you kind of get it done, how you open your meetings, because there's some people, I just jumped on the like 3 more boards, but they don't know how that process goes, like Robert's rules or anything. So when we give you our mission statement, our opening pieces, this is how you build your boards. Your people stick to those things. It's not really we're doing some song and dance. We're reminding ourselves, like when you're in school, you say the Pledge of Allegiance, or when you go to your company, you have a certain work ethic.
Mm-hmm.
So we're kind of relaying them to you in a entertainment type way.
Okay.
So
All right.
we are the Community Solidarity of Response Network of Toledo, formed on November 25th, 2014, the day after it was announced that the killer, a Ferguson, Missouri police officer, of Michael Brown, an unarmed teenager, would not be indicted. We bring awareness to the injustices experienced by Black men, women, children who have been disproportionately murdered, attacked, provoked, and harassed by law enforcement. Police brutality has to end. Police brutality has to end. We bring awareness to the fact that most often police brutality goes without consequence or accountability. Police impunity has to end. We utilize the tactics of civil protest, civil disobedience, event disruption, and citizen advocacy to give voice, yes, give voice to those who are otherwise voiceless. We facilitate progressive, community-based events that help foster self-development, and we discuss measures to hold local leadership accountable to their sworn duties, be they politician, clergy, law enforcement, etc., etc. We want justice, equal justice under the law, equal justice applied to all, yes, all, regardless of class, creed, or color, for all lives to matter. Black lives, yes, Black lives must matter. And injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. And with that, so this is studio what? D F. So we're in a different room right now, so you may hear some background noise, but you know,
Right.
that's life. Where we are at this, it's nice. It's actual weather. People are on
And
motorcycles.
guess who we got on the phone?
Ah, we got somebody
We
on the
got
phone.
right. We got Miss Alicia on the phone.
Ah, okay, so let me
All
shut
right.
up.
No, you don't have to shut
Ah,
up.
I'm gonna shut up.
Okay, all right, because she will get at you. Hey, Miss Alicia.
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine. I'm fine. Hey, look, we are live. We're live on the air. If you wanted to, you could click that link and it'll put you right in our studio, or it should. But we got you live right now. How you feeling?
Doing pretty good. I'm exhausted day, but doing good work. And so just a little bit of an exhausted day, but I'm thankful to be on with you all. It's important to, share what's happening in community. How are you?
I'm doing just fine.
Doing good.
Good. I am going to click on this link and see if we can make it happen here.
All right.
Okay.
Well, we'll be waiting for you.
All right. I'll see you shortly. I think it's loading.
Okay,
Alrighty.
great.
Sounds great.
All righty. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye.
All right. Hey, look. I've got guess who else we have right outside the studio door. We've got Julian. We've got Brianna. Now, I wanted to go over our guiding principles, but I didn't want to keep them waiting. And since we've got one door that locks the other door that locks the other door.
We got the Get Smart system out here.
Absolutely.
Y'all might be too young for that.
Yeah.
But anyway, Get Smart was a great show.
Right. So listen, give me 1 second. All right. If you don't mind.
We can go to commercial break. Again, we always evolve our format so nothing gets stale because it's life. You can't keep rehearsing things and expecting the outcome to change. So give us a few moments. We'll be back with a commercial break.
All right, Jody. I think that give us 1 second.
See? Set him up.
I know you set me up. And you set me up well. You set me up well.
And again, for the people that's watching, this is how you see us all over the place. We don't hire people to sit behind the scenes and do stuff for us. We actually physically do it ourselves. So I'm speaking to y'all, responding to y'all, and trying to get the word out there a little bit more. So I'm not ignoring what's happening in this space. I'm spreading it out.
And we appreciate that. So this is the CSRN Video Minutes. Listen, hang on. We will be right back.
All righty, everybody. We're still trying to find our special guest there, stuck in the green room right now. So any update on where the special guest went to?
You know what? I have no idea. Family, let's check and find out what's going on.
All righty. So again, we got Alicia Smith. She'll be clicking the link, so you'll see her on the screen with us. We're waiting on Julian and Brianna to come back from an active protest that we just held at the college not too long ago.
Right. And hey, look, we're back. This is the Community Solidarity Response Network. What I'm going to read right now are our guiding principles. This is the thing, the document that makes sure everybody is well regarding this type of work. Give me 1 second. I don't see. Why don't I see her?
No dead space, no dead space. So, and again, we're going to be something that really just can't be taught is how you start a board, because there aren't too many yet. You can go to school, and I learned a lot in school. I mean, it wasn't all kind of garbage, but for the most part, I had to learn through life experience. Like, you get to a job and you got to college and stuff, and they want you to have this many X amount of experience, but you're like, but I got the degree. So how am I supposed to get this many X amount of if that's what I went to school for? Well, kind of, you have to keep showing up to stuff. You have to learn to be humble and sit in the room, quiet as a mouse, or fly on the wall and learn stuff. And you build upon it and you keep going. One of the things that I've definitely gotten out of last year was consistency, purpose, and repetition, or CPR. So I think all of us need to kind of CPR our life, see what we're doing.
Right.
I watch a lot of, so just a peek inside my head, I just finished binge watching Baki, which is an anime series. I watch a lot of anime and fantasy, martial arts, stuff that makes you think outside the box, stuff that makes you forget about the trauma of police brutality and human brutality and animal brutality and all the stuff that we do to the world itself, where we scream save everyone else. I'm kind of rambling, so I need brother watch, because I'm going to go off into some speech that isn't really too nice to people.
All right. Look, if Alicia watching for whatever reason, hey, look, having some technical difficulties bringing her in the studio. But what I want to do right now is read our guiding principles, and then we may bring her in using audio only.
Yep.
All right. Hey, we can do that too.
We got some time on the show as long as you got battery power on the phone.
Oh, okay. That's another problem. These are our guiding principles. All Black lives matter. queer Black lives, trans Black lives, formerly and presently incarcerated Black lives, poor working class Black lives, differently abled Black lives, Black men and women lives, immigrant Black lives, Black elderly and children lives. All Black lives matter, and our creators of this space, we throw no one under the bus, we rise together. Ashe?
Ashe.
And Ashe means one who changes a thing or one who makes a thing happen. Thriving instead of surviving. Our vision is based on a world we want, not the one we're currently in. We seek to transform, not simply react. We want our people to thrive, not just exist, think beyond the possible. Ashe?
Ashe.
Experimentation and innovation must be built into our work. Embrace the best tools, practices, and tactics, and leave those behind that no longer serve us. Ashe?
Ashe.
Evaluation and assessment must be built into our culture. Critical reflection must be a part of all of our work. We learn from our mistakes and our victories. Ashe?
Ashe.
Principled struggle can exist in a positive environment. We must be honest with one another by embracing direct, loving communication. Ashe?
Ashe.
Love, self-love is practiced in every element of all we do. Love and self-love must be a driver of our work and an indicator of our success. Without this principle and without healing, we will harm each other and undermine our movement. Ashe?
Ashe.
360-degree vision. We honor past struggles and wisdom from elders. The work we do today builds the foundations of movements of tomorrow. We consider our mark on future generations. Ashe?
Ashe.
Self-care means we build resilient spaces by budgeting time, energy, and resources for healing. Self-care is a regular, consistent, intentional, and essential practice. Ashe?
Ashe.
The most directly affected people are experts at their own lives and should be in leadership at the center of our movement and telling their stories directly. Ashe?
Ashe.
Training and leadership development should be fundamental. Our movement must constantly grow and leadership must constantly multiply. Ashe?
Ashe.
Look, Jody, I'm going to check out and find out what's going on.
And that's good and stuff. What does Ashe mean? See,
I think I said that. Ashe means one who changes a thing or one who makes a thing happen. And I think that I really wanted to bring Alicia Smith in. And if you could, I'm going to take a short break.
Yeah.
And while I do this, I want you to,
remember to leave questions and stuff in the comments. And
did you know addiction is a disease, not a moral dilemma? The opioid epidemic and substance use have a major impact on communities of color and many people's lives. Wasion Wellness Recovery Support Center offers culturally relevant inpatient and outpatient behavioral health treatment and recovery support services to any Ohioan struggling with addiction, mental health, or finding sober-safe housing. We must recognize that treatment is available and accessible to all. If you are in need of treatment or want to find out more information, you can call 1-888-728-2713 to talk to someone or schedule an appointment.
Do you care? Do you care? Your life matters to me. Does my life matter to you? If your life matters to you, wear the mask for me. It could save for you. Your life matters to me. Does my life matter to you? If your life matters to you, wear the mask for me. It could save for you. Your life matters to me. Does my life matter to you? If your life matters to you, wear the mask for me. It could save for you. Your life matters to me. Does my life matter to you? If your life matters
Hey, we are back for Julian, for Brianna. Listen, we're gonna have to catch you after the break. We sent some scouts outside. They did not see you, so man, I don't know what's happening today. But this is the CSRN Video Minutes. This is our weekly podcast and our video minutes where we talk about some of the things that we've done in the past. Some of the things that we're working on right now, and some of the things that we got coming up. One of the things that I wanted to say before we do anything else is um, check us out on Spotify, and maybe soon I'll put that link in where you can find us on Spotify. We're on YouTube. For anybody that wants to support us, how people ask, well, how can we support you? Well, you can donate today using the Cash App, cash tag CSRN 419, or the PayPal CSRN 419. And also we have a website that we want you to check out soon. It's the Community Solidarity Response Network. It's our webcast. We're trying to load that right now, and we'll let you check that out. And on our website, let's get rid of
Say she's
Okay, but don't come on now. All right, look how smart was that? All right,
Quick
man.
adjusting on the fly. So
Oh man. So look, while we're looking at this screen right now, if you want to if you think that you need to make some adjustments, go ahead and do that.
we're looking good.
This is the Community Solidarity Response Network. We've got Julian, we've got Brother Washington, of course we've got Jody, and we also got Brianna. So what I want to do, I need to step off of here, bring Brianna right here, and if we could talk about the protests, all right, that just happened and what went down. All right, so if you could start talking, and then that way when I slide Brianna here, they won't even know.
All right. What's up, everybody? My name is Julian, he, him, preferred gender pronouns, and I guess I'll start off just by saying this is a time when we need to be restoring power back to the people, right? And we see that in multiple levels of our society, where the demand is increasingly growing. We see it nationwide, we see it in Minneapolis, and we see it here in Toledo and on the University of Toledo campus. Brianna, can you say something about the people that made the original call for action today?
Yeah, definitely. I've gone to school with them. I don't have a personal relationship with them, but I know their face, and they're very good students. They're really good people. I know the one girl's name was Robin Davion, and I didn't get the other girl's name, but basically it was a call to action. So they started off with a poem. Davion recited a beautiful poem about Black power and just Black revolutionaries, and then from there they talked about, I have it in my notes, I think it was qualified immunity after that, and they talked about how qualified immunity makes government workers immune to being sued, and how that has actually personally affected one of the organizers who was hit by a police car, but the added in 2020 doesn't apply to her because the car accident that the policeman was found at fault for occurred before the amendment. So she is now going into debt with her medical bills, and she's got to find a new car. And it's just a lot of things like that. They had a lot of petitions and GoFundMes.
That's all because police aren't treated like normal people.
Right.
Right. There's a whole nother level of qualifications for them to, whenever they do something wrong.
Exactly. Yeah. And so after they talked about qualified immunity, they showed us a funny Trevor Noah video from The Daily Show talking about voter suppression and how that played out in Georgia with Stacey Abrams in the race, and how her opponent, I think is Brian Kemp. Yep. How he was running for the election and also in charge of the election. They had people in Georgia waiting in line for hours, and a lot of people came together to bring food and water to those people waiting in line. How then an example of voter suppression was the law they passed saying you cannot give food or water to people who are in line.
Mm-hmm. You know what I thought was really interesting about that part that I had never thought of? You know, the people that perpetuate oppression, I'll classify them like that.
Right.
Often try to frame the argument around voting rights like this just happens to affect Black people, right? A lot of times with the voter IDs, there's issues with names because a lot of white folks don't know how to spell our names, or we have unique names, right? And so that disproportionately impacts Black people, right? And you know, I like how they I think it's in the Trevor Noah skit where he juxtaposed that to the literacy test, right? Like, oh, well, if you can't read, then how can you vote? Forgetting that it was illegal. It was the law of the land that it was illegal to teach Black people how to read.
Exactly.
Right? This is no coincidence. This is deliberate, intentional, systemic oppression.
Exactly. And so from there, Julie and I were granted the opportunity to speak about the work that we've been doing surrounding police abolition. And I spoke a little bit about how I've come to my conclusion in my thesis, talking about the foundations of police on capitalism, the patriarchy, and racial suppression and racial capitalism, and how that foundation cannot be erased. So so I posed the questions, are reforms enough to function? And I left that for the audience to kind of ponder on, and I discussed how capitalism inhibits police abolition because of the way it structures our society on individualism, and it deprives communities of adequate resources that they need to thrive, to survive and thrive. And that's created a dynamic where we think we're dependent on the police for order and safety, when reality is we're just deprived from that.
That's right. That's right. And while we're still in this capitalistic system, like they often say that, we bring all these police to these areas because that's where the most crime is. No, that's where the least resources are.
Exactly.
Right. And worldwide, where there's poverty and where there's more specifically a lack of resources, that's where crime follows. So when you invest in the community, that's how we solve a lot of these societal ills, which brings us to our Refund Toledo petition. We're still pushing for it. We still believe that the $90 million that's spent on law enforcement here in the city of Toledo is not a solid investment, that those funds should be used to invest in community programming that can do a lot better job at curtailing our societal ills at the root, as opposed to trying to treat the symptom. And that goes all around if we're talking about addiction, if we're talking about crimes of desperation or poverty, right? You deal with the root. That's how you uphold these problems from our society. You don't just cut around the bush with the leaves.
I'm thinking about how $90 million could drastically improve even just one community,
Yeah.
But just to Toledo as a whole, and that's only a fraction of the money that they really, and the resources they really have access to, And so this is a problem that we're trying to get people to understand, is you can't move forward without being able to look back and understand the factors that have led us to the circumstances that we are in today. So it was a really good event, though. I'm glad that we did that. Julie and I were just talking about how we've been so socially deprived during this pandemic that we're like vibrating with positive energy.
Right.
Because how good it felt to be around our people again.
Yo, and folks were dancing, right? Like, never underestimate the power of Black joy. It is revolutionary, right? And that's sometimes all it takes is when I did, we did. You know what I mean? Sometimes that's all it takes to uplift your spirit, to uplift your vibration, to throw off those mental chains of oppression that sometimes get on, oppression and depression that sometimes get on us, right? We sometimes, it ain't shucking and jiving. It's a revolutionary spirit of joy that can possess us, even in the most difficult of times.
Exactly. I used to think that to start a family and to be family oriented was to be, weak, in the sense that you're not striving for more in your life. And I used to think that those are the values because I was socialized as an American, in my defense. But then, like you just said, like I realized like family and investing in family and community is really what's revolutionary, because they don't want us to do that. They do everything in their power to destruct our sense of family and community, so that for us to come together like that, that's exactly what is, getting people in these revolutionary attitudes, to know that there's like-minded people who are your neighbors, who are right next to you, and that you can come together and mobilize, you just need to find that network. And so that's what was really great, especially at the end. There were several links to petitions, GoFundMes, everything, so that we can help each other and build each other up.
Because at the end of the day, community and each other is all we got, but that's all we need.
Mm. And I heard the crowd say amen after that.
Yeah.
They heard that.
Before we go, I know I'm off screen. How does this relate to Dante Wright and George Floyd, what you were talking about today? How does that connect with what's going on right now?
Qualified immunity.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just to say it bluntly, we have to end qualified immunity. And, you know, while there absolutely needs to be individual accountability for those that made the actions, there needs to also be a systemic accountability. While we deconstruct this system, you know, there's different kind of viewpoints of how do we get to the point of abolition, right? But one thing's for sure is that we cannot continue to function with this alternative sets of rules,
Mm-hmm.
right? Where police don't function as normal members of society, right? That cannot continue.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as what I'll say is this, man, also is I feel like we're collectively holding our breath right now. And for the criminal justice system to show some resemblance of something that's upright and just. We know that it has problems, but can it ever even function in the right way that can deliver some semblance of justice?
Mm-hmm.
And I think folks are getting ready, right, for these revolutionary times.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have to wait until any verdict comes down
to know
that we're going to have to be about some action.
Yeah.
And so that action starts today.
Mm-hmm.
with communication with one another. We're going to go on a quick break, y'all. We'll be right back. Justice or else.
We are back. We are back. Thanks for asking the question now about our sister Alicia Smith. Hey, look, she's not able to join us today, not by her fault, but because of the people upstairs that control all of our tech. All right.
They got wind of the phone call.
Yeah, so they're gonna. No, they didn't. I don't know what it was for the people that handle all the stuff in the background, but they'll be hearing from Brianna later on today. Hey, this is the part of our podcast that we wanted to shout out some of the people that are actually doing the work out here. We talk about the plight of youth today, and are there anything that the young people that can do now? And there's many programs out there that's actually on the ground. We want to shout them out. If you have some people that you know, put them in the chat, all right? So that we can say their names, so that we can start funneling some young people and families their way. I want to start with our brother Kenneth Carswell. He has a chess program. And isn't it something else that he does? American Sign Language?
Yep. Yeah,
also, Right.
Which is a very important thing. Is why we give you a description of who you are, who we are when we introduce ourselves. What Brianna is yet to do.
Oh, right.
Right.
So before we go any further, Brianna, and then we need Julian didn't do it either.
Yeah, Julian.
So we'll
when we have this segment come up, we'll make sure that we introduce.
Oh, he has a segment. He has a segment. I don't get a segment. I'm the one that put the chairs up. All right. All right. I got you, Jody. Okay. That's called a power move right there. They said,
hey, you put me in the center chair.
Hey, they said the same thing to me before they fired me at McDonald's. All right. Yeah, all right.
Quick introduction. My name is Brianna Camden. She, her, hers are my pronouns. I'm rocking my Black Girl Magic shirt, pro-black. I got all black except for my shoes. I got on some white tennis shoes, but I'm not wearing black socks, so I'm not committing no type of fashion crimes today. But yeah, that's me.
All right, and also wanted to lift up our brother Tremaine Rayford in the program. He's mentoring young men week in, week out. So if you have some young men that need some assistance, need whatever you think young men need to grow up to be strong men that we need for the revolution now. See our brother Tremaine Rayford. Also, check
real quick, one thing I just saw about him, because you got to say what they're actually doing stuff. The last program I just saw while I was scrolling up and down my nonprofit organizations is he had young men build beds for kids without beds. A lot of things that go on in the home that we just relegate to parents or stuff like that. And yes, I can say I've been through quite a lot. People read the stories, the artwork. But I applaud him for having other people build something that will last maybe a lifetime or more for somebody that didn't have it. There's an advocate for a whole bunch of things nowadays. I appreciate everybody that does something beyond a grant or a fundraiser or something consistently so it can get done.
Right, and Sean Mahone with the Young Men and Women for Change, he does a boot camp. And he's been doing this for, I think, over 10 years, maybe 14 or 15 years now. It's called A Dose of Reality. You can find him on Facebook. Check out Center of Hope and Dr. Tracy Perryman. We've got 2 Dr. P's, all right?
Yeah, we do.
We need to have some type of knowledge face-off, all right? Maybe I can learn.
We got a lot of commercials and stuff. We do one commercial, then another commercial.
Oh, yeah, that is right. All right, okay. All right, I just realized. Thank you. Also, Avis, our sister Avis Files with Brothers United. You can find her on Facebook. Lots of resources for men who want to reconcile with their children and be a part of their children's life again. And she has a lot of courses for brothers that can make that happen. Also, Soul City Boxing. Rashawn Jones. Have you ever did any boxing? I know you used to bounce. I don't know if that's close to it. I'm sure I would could have been thrown out of one of those clubs back in the day, but you'd have to been 8. All right.
Well, around 8, I threw a teacher down the stairs.
Okay.
But no, I did a whole bunch of other stuff: weightlifting, football, track and field. The shot put discus part, I don't run. So just So back when I was younger, but naturally I've just been big and powerful and ominous.
Okay.
So yeah.
And that's why we have him here. If ever you see us have a protest.
Except in that photo from yesterday. I don't know why I look so short.
Hey, we're gonna save that photo. All right, we're gonna save that photo. But if you ever come to any of our protests, we stress safety. If there's any interlopers or black bloc saboteurs that want to take our protests and make it something else, myself, Jody, we're there to deal with that. Julian, we can throw him in there too, because we got to protect our own narrative. All right.
Special shout out to Christina Rodriguez. She just got elected. What was it? The Mental Youth Health Board or something with mental health. She just got elected last week, and we meant to give her on her page now.
Yeah, we need to find out what she got, elected to.
Yep, it's
Jody.
Christina Rodriguez.
All
You
right.
find her on Facebook. There was a week of celebration and everything. So shout out to you for everything that you are doing in the community.
And a couple other organizations that's making a difference. Impact Toledo with our brother Ty, Cleveland, working with our young people. And I'm really proud of everyone that works with our young people. I've done it for 20 years, and it's a challenge, but it's a worthwhile challenge. And so shout out to all of those that are still doing it. Coach T and Junior Role Models, Sonya Organics that has her garden, and she invites the public, and particularly our youth, to come in and learn something about the earth. Yep. We always say that growing your own food is like printing your own money. And at one point in this push for justice, they may shut down their stores.
Yep.
Or we just said we want justice and still have our mouths in the kitchen of our enemy. Mm-hmm. So at one point, something's going to have to change. And I was talking with a brother earlier about our May 30th protest, the March for Police Accountability. And because of that, they went after our council people. Mm-hmm. Because they were going to introduce some sweeping changes in police reform. So you can't do this work and not think that somebody's going to push back. Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
So I found out she just got elected to the board of Mental Health and Recovery Services for Lucas County. So congratulations. I'm sure me or Brother Washington, since that's kind of the field we're in, we'll be speaking out with you. Hopefully that you'll be able to come in like Alicia and give positive and faces to the people who run these boards, because that's something we don't see enough of. Shout out to Chris Meager, who is the board or CEO of Emerald Food Pantry, something me and her and a whole bunch of people started last year to make sure that whether you were homeless, whether you live with family, or you were out of a job, we would come with a blessing pizza or a food box or toiletries and everything to help. We just got our 501c3 and stuff like that. So we're getting ready to get a building, but my condolences. I also want to say to Sick With It. You can look on our pages. I'm not going to talk about it right now, but my condolences to his family. You were a good friend, even though I've only met you a couple times. And Arms America.
What do they do?
It's a community-based nonprofit. Me and her have actually reached out a couple of times, so I'm just going to read you what's on her page. It's a nonprofit organization, America Restoring Mothers and Sons. So that is their goal. That is their mission statement and everything. It looks like we got a...
Hey, right. And this is the portion of our podcast where we have our prison industrial complex report and update. We've got our brother Omar Gent, who has a website, Free Our Brothers with Omar Gent. And we have him on the phone, calling from the belly of the beast. If we can, I'm going to set this up so our brother can speak to our people out there that are listening and waiting. Are you here, brother? Yes, brother. I am. Let's turn this up.
Good. And we're going to set up so you can actually see what he's talking about here in a moment.
Brother Omar, how you feeling today?
Blessed, my brother. Blessed. God is good.
Yes, sir. Right now we have about usually between 300-400 people that see our podcast weekly, and part of our agenda is talking about the prison industrial complex. Do you mind introducing yourself, who you are, And man, what makes you an advocate from behind bars?
First and foremost, I'd like to say God is great. I'd like to thank the CSRN team for bringing me into this beautiful and wonderful platform, and a blessed Ramadan to those who are observing. My name is Omar Jin. I was born May 6, 1984. Since May 2008, I've been basically wrongfully convicted and imprisoned through Colorado's no indictment lockup scheme, which is exposed on my website.
Now, could you one more time, brother? We're talking to our brother Omar Gent with freeourbrothers.com. And yeah, sorry about that. We had some technical difficulties. If you can, one more time, brother, because I had I had you up, but I had zero sound. So if you don't,
you can't do full screen,
and we can hear you too. So if you don't mind introducing yourself one more time, please, and if you can tell everybody why you continue to advocate from behind bars.
My name is Omar Jeremy Gent. I was born May 6, 1984. I'm the oldest of three children, originally from Florida. I came out here with my then girlfriend, maybe like 2007. Fortunately, I ran into the legal mass incarceration beast, Colorado's no indictment scheme, exposed on my website, freeourbrothers.com. That's freeourbrothers.com. Basically, what the state of Colorado is doing is railroading people to prison without the due process of law. Their state judicial system is based around the grand jury system, which freeourbrothers.com explains. And to save time, money, and just to go around the whole concept of probable cause, which is the most basic basis of any prosecution, they circumvent the grand jury process and railroad everybody to prison. Basically, what makes me an advocate is, the grace of Allah, the grace of the Creator. He gave me the knowledge, the courage, the ability, and just the desire to do this, to stay focused, to reach out to people like CSRN community team and this platform. I thank everybody for their help and their support. And I like to say, just thank you all. And that's just what I'm doing. And I appreciate your support.
Now, one of the things that I don't think that I see on the page is the Instagram. And I think more and more people are moving from Facebook to Instagram. And you got an Instagram. how would they be able to contact you or follow you on Instagram?
Oh, first and foremost, I want to say thank you for bringing that to my remembrance. The website is Instagram at Free Our Brothers. There's a video on there that my fiance recorded for me. Basically, we're trying to present the issue to the national and local Black Caucus, the people that are tagged in the tag posted on the video, and we're asking everybody to please help us forward this video, mass forward this video to the people tagged in the video, the local representatives or the national representatives, because we want to use crowd pressure to force an answer. And the basic theme of the video is asking these representatives, do they believe that, Black people, do we have rights in this country? Am I Dred Scott, or do I have rights? And not to get too deep into it, basically, Dred Scott case, for those who are not familiar, he was a slave that went to free territory, and he sued for his freedom. And basically, the Supreme Court at the time said, Black people have no rights that white people must respect. And so what I've been doing since I've been incarcerated was challenging my unlawful conviction with the knowing rejected because it's an immediate discharge issue. And in order to harbor and to cover what the state has been doing with the no indictment machine, these local judges and even all the way up to the U.S. Supreme Court have been covering up, denying my right to be immediately discharged from this unlawful confinement. What's going on to the public. So we asking everybody to please support the Instagram video, Instagram at Free Our Brothers, and also please connect to my Facebook page. That's Facebook/Free Our Brothers. Free Our Brothers.
Now, my last question is, one segment that we talk about every week is on wellness, it's on self-care. What do you do to stay balanced? You see, we're out here. So, Omar, it's all good, all right, for us out here. But what about you? How do you stay balanced that you call every week, you give us an uplifting word, and we leave from this call better than we did before you called? What do you do, brother?
First and foremost, I know that you have to have a connection with the Creator. So I'm always, getting into just making sure that, I do a lot of prayer, meditation, reading the Quran, reading the Bible. And the Final Call newspaper is a very powerful paper that I tune into, and it gives me a lot more courage and inspiration and education about what, I need to do to first and foremost change it myself so I can be able to help others. And also that term, social distancing, I've been putting that down long before this pandemic. Even though in prison you can't really distance yourself, but the social distance myself from a lot of the stress, the frustration, the temptations in here by staying spiritually centered. And then sometimes it's taking the break. The other day I didn't do anything. I just laid in the bed. I just rested a little bit, rested my mind and my body. And just social distance myself from the constant stress and frustration about this. Sometimes it's slowing down, taking the break, thanking the Creator for opportunity and people even bringing to my path like this beautiful platform right here that encourages me as well to be able to speak to you and help to give you life as those out there that listen to me give me life. So I appreciate y'all just like y'all appreciate me very much. So I think sometimes we just need to learn to slow down, physical exercise, maintain our diet. For those who are interested, please look at the book How to Eat to Live by Elijah Muhammad. Detox, spiritual, mental, physical detox, and then you can go from there. You'll feel the big changes.
All right, brother, we're closing in on our last few moments, and as always, I want to thank you, Brother Omar, for joining us, and also I want to thank you for being patient with our tech bugs today. Brianna, we need to holler at those people, all right? Man, they set this thing up and they told us, Jody, that it was going to be okay. They said that even I could run it. So, thanks. All right. But thank you, brother. Thank you so much. I look forward to talking to you hopefully sometime this week so we can talk about the next way forward in this battle, because we're not stopping, Brother Omar. All right. Our back is against the wall, and we don't have anything that we fear, out here that's going to stop us from speaking truth to power, brother. So we thank you, we love you, and shields up, brother.
Shields up. Thank you all. Remember that you help to keep me going. Everything that y'all doing is encouraging, empowering, and I truly thank the Creator for all of you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Talk to you soon.
Assalamu alaikum.
Well, Islam. We want to thank our brother. Can we give our brother a finger snap? All right.
He's doing it.
Because it's not often that our brothers that are incarcerated, most times we think that their lives don't matter because we think they made a mistake, and because you're incarcerated, that means that you're persona non grata for having something to say. And I know firsthand of the brilliant minds, that's there, and I'm celebrating my 30th year in this work. It was 30 years ago that I came out of Penn State, or State Penn, and decided to give my life to justice. 30 years ago, I joined the Nation of Islam, and I was committed, then. And we thank brothers like Omar. We thank sisters like Brianna and Ruth and Julian and Jody. This is a thankless job, all right? But you do it because, you love it. So, hey, listen, I want to take a short break, Jody.
Yep.
And when we come back, I think we're going to tie up some loose ends, and then we're going to shut it down with 5 minutes of heat.
Sounds good.
All right. So this is the CSRN podcast, our weekly video minutes. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Hey, I'm Dr. P. Not only am I a leadership coach, I'm a change agent, and I'm a race scholar. I've used my study of race to dismantle systems and organizations, but I also use that to help you as the individual become a better leader for your families and for your community.
Now you can get the same uncompromising truth you've come to expect from the Final Call newspaper on all your connected devices. Subscribe to the Final Call digital edition today. Go to subscribe.finalcalldigital.com.
We didn't go out the door.
All right, we are back. Hey, this is the time that we pull together any loose ends. We've got 5 minutes of heat. We've got the Solidarity Pledge. I want to also mention before we wrap up is Juneteenth. Look up the Juneteenth celebration page. Right now, if I'm not mistaken, they're still taking vendors. They're finalizing a spot that we're going to celebrate Juneteenth, as many of us safely as we can in one spot. So Shannon, this lady, she's on Facebook. Juneteenth celebration is on Facebook. Jody, I think that's all that I have.
Closing thoughts, everybody? No. Do you have any closing thoughts on how today went?
Just the protest as well. That was definitely a step up from some of the other protests I've gone to that left me pretty traumatized afterwards. Just the police escalating violence, I'm really glad that things went smooth and peaceful today. And in regards to the prison industrial complex, I just really resonated with him because I did the Inside Out program at UT. Are you guys familiar with it?
Yes.
It's incredible. You get 15 inside students who are incarcerated and 15 outside students from UT. We come together, and it taught me so much about inmate lives and how, we didn't know any of their past, no personal information, none of that. It was just coming together in an environment to learn together. And that really made me realize that like people are not their mistakes that they make. There's so much more than that. We're complex. There's no binary system of humanity. It's not good or bad. It's a spectrum that we evolved over time, and it's a journey, and it's something to celebrate instead of shaming people when maybe they're down on their journey or they're up, because you may be down and you might be up. It could just, it fluctuates, but the important thing is that their lives matter. They matter to me. They were my classmates. Unfortunately, COVID made us shut it down. I never really got to say goodbye or have that final ceremony class with them. So it's really nice to still have that connection on the inside, knowing what's going on. So, but that's all from me.
All right. Okay. Today was good. Again, for everybody that's watching every week, we're going to continue to expand and evolve and have phone calls and people chime in, and everything's not going to look perfect. I kind of have a saying for people that ask me how I do a lot of the stuff that I do and how I can compartmentalize and go on from people hanging themselves to a couple of hours later speaking with children. For me, it's a little different. I know I can't take everybody home. People take parts and pieces of me, but I can't make everybody family. I know that there are times where I have to give myself a break and either jump into another genre or just not get on social media, not involve myself in everything that's going on. I stopped watching TV almost 20 years ago. I make newspapers, I'm on billboards, I've had all kinds of stuff for me, but in the end, what affects me is waking up the next day knowing that there's something to be done. Even if that something to be done is sitting in my underwear in my house and drinking some tea. That might have to be done for you. Just so 5 minutes of heat, which I love. And that's why I tried to give you all the self-care I could just a minute ago. Today's piece is called Nostalgic Information Glamorizing Graveyard Adventures. It's a traumatic piece built on our lives through this type of work. Our lives that a lot of it isn't seen on the other side because you're always like, well, we're protesting police violence, domestic violence, or something else, and we don't get a chance to look at our communities or point the finger back at ourselves. So I hope you understand this is also the edited or more perfected piece versus if I were to slam this piece, because if you read the acronym or thought about the acronym of the word that I just said, it hurts. So without further ado, any last words, Julian?
He's on the call.
Okay.
Yeah, of course.
Pop in 2 seconds, right there.
More than 2 seconds.
You time.
Okay. Yo, so hi, my name is Julian Mack. I have on a shirt that says quit your day job with a picture of a police officer setting their car on fire. And it looks like sometimes, you can speak things into existence. The officer that shot our brother Wright in Minnesota has left their job, but we know that is there's more to it than that, right? They want to keep their we know the power of the police unions. So I just want to encourage everybody to stay vigilant as we look for justice in this fight, from Minnesota to Toledo, to Palestine and beyond. Peace.
All righty, everybody. For you, those of you on the other side of the screen, let's begin. Peace. Gun clicks. Pow! Don't be so alarmed. It's just the sound. Yes, it's just the sound of another kid dead. Another brown boy laying in the streets by the hands of someone who does not, yes, not wear a badge whose skin is melanated to just the right tint to where this no longer a crime. This story will never see the news except to dig up old wounds and remind you of all the reasons they deserve to die. It's just gang violence. Yes, it's just gang violence. It's just the result of the life they chose. It's not a reflection on our community. There are no invisible walls connected to the gold chain trap music and influence that we feed you as we rape your minds, steal your childhoods, erase your history, and convince you that living on assistance is the quickest way out. As the links to our think tank keep erasing your unity, one platinum drug tested epidemic, stream through our children's eyes, one flat line at a time. But I thought you should know. His name was Tyrone. He leaves 3 kids, yes, 3 kids at home and died without a dime. Gun clicks, pow. Unless no need to grab your signs protesting the streets or write your congressman a hateful letter. It's just the sound, yes, it's just the sound of another kid dead. Another young woman lost to the streets who was molested as a child by pastors, teachers, and trusted family members. So she left home trying to survive. And although she was young, she had already gone numb, deciding this is how she would survive. She did pretty well and managed to scrape by until someone viewed her as a prize, a money-making scheme to get rich quick. And when she decided it was time to get ghost quick, they ditched her quick. One shot to the gut and a twist of the neck, left in a dumpster for 3 weeks to set. Her family had no clue. They were all too busy trying to hide the shame they felt. Yes, the shame they felt of the truth coming out they all knew. So her case sits in a stack, yes, a stack of unsolved murders. Jane Doe, with the description, yes, the description torn out. Bars, yes, bars, clink, pow. Unless you go to where lost children, yes, lost children become lost souls, you will never know how deep their extermination goes. But it's just another kid dead. The last sound they'll hear before joining the company of their peers who were told they were never good enough. Grades were no good. Too hyperactive, they might have played sports. But their teachers read from books. No sense of structure, just fall in line. Your creativity, yes, your creativity can only fit on this dotted line. So the system passed them by, determined by the 3rd grade, yes, the 3rd grade, the resting place they shall stay if the curriculum doesn't fit their age. Now it's prison guards just 3 strikes away, or 1 if you multiply just the right way. In their teens they will sit until there's no childhood left, making all the amenities freedom gets to free with split. A new shot of workforce at just 10 cents a day. And when they're released back onto the streets with a criminal record and no way out but the streets to pay their way, the bars, yes, the bars become their church bells. They'll ring to their graves. But don't shed a tear. These statistics, yes, these statistics were just born out of fear. So it's time to come out of the dark, yes, the dark, and speak light to your loved ones while they still have ears, yes, ears that hear the right way. In peace, also, my condolences to Earl Simmons, DMX. You are a legend. You said a lot. You were truth. And I hope your family can continue on without you.
All right, I got to give some finger snaps to that.
Yeah, I went in my zone with that. I felt like I was meditating.
You know, Jody, look, one of the things that we just got over my phone was Mike Hope and Buckeyes Behind Bars, Beyond Buckeyes and Beyond. They're having an activity this Saturday right across the street from the Chick-fil-A from 12 to 2 on the one on Secor. And Mike's going to be working with us regarding qualified immunity. And we're going to make this a thing for Toledo Police Department. And we didn't mention this on that we do have our defund the police signs in. So if you're watching us, we got the Black Lives Matter signs, but I'm going to challenge you, get some of these defund the police signs.
Yeah, it's about to be yard sign season.
You could do that too, all right? And that's a great statement. So having said that, and thanks, Mike, for bringing qualified immunity. Thank you, Joe Dewey, for bringing qualified immunity to the forefront. And thank you for all of the young people at UT that came together today. And there's no revolution that's ever started without our young people, all right? That's the generation that gets it on and popping. And I'm just glad to be a part of that. Now we're ready for the Solidarity Pledge, all right?
Y'all ready?
We're ready.
I say your name.
Brother Washington.
Pledge to strive.
Pledge to strive.
To love my brothers and sisters.
To love my brothers and sisters.
As I love myself.
As I love myself.
I. State your name.
Brother Washington.
Pledge to strive.
Pledge to strive.
To study.
To study.
To improve myself.
To improve myself.
Spiritually. Mentally. Morally. And physically. For the benefit of myself.
For the benefit of myself.
My family. And my people. I. Say your name.
Child sister.
Pledge to strive.
Pledge to strive.
To be part of the solution.
To be a part of the solution.
The process.
The process.
And not the problem.
And not the problem.
I.
Say
your name.
Brother Washington.
Pledge to strive.
Pledge to strive.
To give my all that I can spare.
To give all that I can spare.
Of my time.
Of my time.
My strength.
My strength.
My energy.
And energy.
To achieve.
To achieve.
The above said.
The above said. Give yourselves a hand. Oh man, thank you, Brianna. And as always, all lives can't matter until what?
Black Lives Matter.
And Black lives can't matter until all Black lives matter. Justice or else.
Peace.
Yeah.